morning everyone, and welcome to the first ever vlog on this channel. I thought it would be a great idea to start these vlogs. I've been wanting to do them for a long time, but I thought today would be the perfect day as I'm doing something big. It's been booked for a good few months now. So for my birthday, my partner Emily and her parents, they got me a track day experience in a Formula 4 car at Silverstone, one of the most iconic tracks in the world. So I'm so excited. Unfortunately, it's not on the actual main track, it's on the Stowe circuit, which is the inside circuit which they do track days and tests as well on different cars, so it should still be really good fun. An F4 car, I'm actually really nervous as well. I don't want to bin it. I'm so scared of binning it into the wall, but you know what, you only do something like this once. So I'm going to full send it, and I'm going to try my hardest to get as fast a lap time as I can. I've been looking around to see if there is any kind of like lap times out there that I can compare to. There's not much out there. It seems to be like a 1 minute 1 is like the best lap time that I've seen online. So we'll see. I mean, obviously that would be the dream if we can get close to the 1 minute, but I'm not going to hope for anything. I'm just going to enjoy it, have a really fun time. And give it my best shot. We are running slightly late. We live actually 3 hours away from the circuit. We're closer up north, so gotta get packed, get in the car, and get down to Silverstone. And before I forget as well, I've got my karting Sparko gloves. I've got like the neon ones. I've had them for a while now. Used them probably 3 times. I want to go karting more. I want to actually start racing a bit more, and this is just the start of all of that. So with that being said, let me get packed because we are going to be late, and we'll get down to Silverstone. We're also staying on the Silverstone circuit, which I will tell you a little bit more later, and I'll show you the whole thing as well. So yeah, let's get down there, and yeah, let's get racing. Oh, gosh, why are we always late every single time? Now we are heading to Escapade. That's what it's called, isn't it? Escapade, which is essentially like a hotel complex. I think it's pretty new, to be honest, that they've built at the Maggotts and Beckett's corner of the Silverstone track. So that's where we're heading now. We are behind schedule, so unless anything happens, we will check in when we arrive. Silverstone, the home of motorsport. Doesn't say that, but right now we need to actually find where we're going, because we can't check in until 3 o'clock. It's currently 12:30. The racing starts soon, but I know we're going to go to the Hilton, which is just here, so we should actually be okay to... oh gosh, there's a guy just pointing us with a massive foam finger.
Oh my gosh, he's dancing.
He's dancing, he's grooving. Not gonna lie, this is probably one of the best lunchtime views ever had. I've literally gone with some chips because I don't want to vomit. Yeah, I've literally just gone with some chips because I want something light on my stomach, so I'm a bit nervous now, I'm not gonna lie. Actually so sick. Oh my gosh, this looks absolutely... What? Oh my gosh, this looks absolutely insane. Look at this, guys. Oh my gosh. See them all coming down here. So this is Stowe circuit. This looks absolutely incredible. I'm getting a little bit nervous now. I'm going to compose myself and then I'll get back to you all. Oh my gosh. This is actually so cool. All set to go.
Right, we are in. It's time to go. Let's see. This is so surreal. This is so cool.
So that's it, the engine is on and we are ready to go. Unfortunately, I was let out last, which is the worst place you want to be, as you will soon find out. But you have a 10-minute safety session behind safety cars to begin with. Over the few laps that they do, they build up the speed gradually just to get you used to the car. It's more really to get used to the gears. They're super clunky and quite hard to actually get into gear. You really have to shove it.
Right, let's see what this thing can do now. So it's now time for the actual lap cars to go in. It's time for
And that is lights out. I get free release and oh my gosh, I cannot tell you the feeling of putting the throttle down here. It feels absolutely insane. Still getting used to the gears, bringing it up into fourth. You only really use 2 gears apart from when you're in the pits. So you use gear 3 to corner and then gear 4 when you're actually on the straights. As you can see as well, the corners are marked out by cones, which does get quite annoying. As you will find out later in this session, all it takes is a couple of people to knock over a couple of cones into the racing line, and there is no more racing line. They leave it for the entire session out on track. So here's my first overtake. So one thing that you can't do as well is actually overtaking corners, and you can only overtake when the other person gets given the blue flag. It's not like normal karting or anything like that. I suppose, you know, they are a lot more dangerous than karts, a lot bigger pieces of machinery, and they go a hell of a lot faster as well. So I understand why they do it, but it was quite frustrating because every time you'd catch up with a car in front of you, you'd have to wait for the blue flag to go up in order to actually pass them on one of the 2 straights that they have at this circuit. So if you catch someone at the end of the straight, you'll find a quarter of the lap behind them. And I'm not gonna lie, there was quite a few people in this session that were a little bit slow. As you can see, I'm coming up to a couple here, and literally some of them just stopping in the middle of the track. Like I basically had to stop here in order for me to stop actually going into the back of this guy in front. There is also braking panels, as you can see, alongside the track, so you actually know where the braking points are. One thing that I started to do is I started on them braking panels and then worked down into the braking zone further and further and further each lap, just to try and really test the brakes out. But it is completely different to driving a kart, which is what I'm used to, and I have very little knowledge on karting as well. So it was really good fun to get used to it. And I know I'm already complaining about traffic and, you know, trying to actually get good times, etc. But the actual experience was unbelievable. It was so much fun. This is probably the closest you're ever going to get to being in, you know, a similar situation to like a Formula 1 driver, for me anyway. I'm 27 now, so I don't think that opportunity is coming up anytime soon, but I would love to do this again. And if, you know, to race these cars competitively, you know, that would be the dream. But as you can see, I'm getting more confident on the brakes. And here we go, the first culprit, literally on like lap 3. There's a cone in the middle of that corner, and now for the rest of the session, you have to avoid it, which is very tricky. I think at one point, actually, I end up just knocking one out the way and just driving over it because it was right on the racing line. Someone had budged it out the way. But there is no better feeling than literally driving into the sunset with the big Silverstone grandstand on your right-hand side in a Formula car. It is absolutely unbelievable, and I would recommend this experience to anybody. It's so much fun. So I'm starting to get a little bit more confidence into these chicanes now. I'm starting to get a feel of how much grip this car has, because it does have so much grip. And to be honest, I don't really think I tested how much grip it had. I was just having so much fun. I wasn't really pushing it that hard, if I'm being honest. It was just so much fun. This was one corner that I did have a few problems with. I just sent it in too hard most of the time, and ended up losing some grip on that corner. But yeah, all of the others, I don't really think I sent it in hard enough. These cones are very, very annoying, but you know what? It makes it more challenging, which is always good fun. Using the bit of the curb there and hitting the apex to make sure I get this blue flag. So you can't see the guy there, but he was behind my helmet to the left, waving the blue flag, so letting me pass. Yeah, this back section here was a little bit slower, quite a nice section, to be honest, not too tricky, a couple of nice apexes that you can hit. And then you've got all the crowd on the right hand side, so all your friends and family who are watching stand on that hill to the right hand side. I think they said to Emily that was the last time that for this experience, until after the Grand Prix, that you'll actually be able to stand there, because they're setting up the grandstands, extra grandstands for Silverstone, as it is only in a few weeks now. I absolutely love this first chicane here, but once again, traffic, and you can't overtake. Literally, I think you can see me getting a bit frustrated here, because I just wanted a free lap with some free air, which I do get 1 or 2. And when I was looking at my timing sheets, I only had 1 or 2 fast laps. Every other lap was 5 or 10 seconds slower, which, you know, it's frustrating. But this, you know, you're not coming here to try and get the fastest time. You're coming here to, you know, enjoy the experience. There's another cone right in the middle of the track. Another thing to avoid. And, you know, with these cars being a lot bigger than karts, it is, it's challenging, but it's really good fun. So I believe this next lap was one of my quickest laps, so I'm going to let you sit back and enjoy this lap around the Stowe circuit in this Formula car. And that was the full lap. I'm not sure if any of you eagle-eyed viewers actually saw the cone that I hit in that first corner there. But I did run over it, but to be fair, it was on my line. This corner, I absolutely love this hairpin. I started to get really confident into there, and I built up a lot of speed and had a great exit onto this back straight here. One thing that I'm disappointed that I didn't do more was I feel like I could have broke a lot later into here. I was fairly fast through there in the actual corner itself, and you know, once again, really nice exit, but I do feel that I was quite tentative on the brakes. I should have probably tried to hit them a little bit harder. As I was saying before, I don't really feel like I properly tested this car. I didn't really lock up once properly anyway. You know, I had a few squealy tyres, but I didn't actually lock the brakes at all, which is probably something that, you know, I should have done. I tried to lock them up a little bit in the actual like practice session just to kind of see the limit. and I didn't manage to because we were going so slow, and by the time I punched the brakes I was already basically still. But gradually I did start to brake a little bit later and feel a little bit more confidence on the brakes going into it. I think for me the hardest thing was the gears. It was quite difficult to shift between 3 and 4, and also timing that gear shift as well was obviously really important, and I think that did slow me down quite a bit. But no excuses, but I've just literally got a new electric car that I've been driving, a fully automatic electric car, obviously with no gears. So I haven't actually driven a manual in a good 6 weeks now, so it was weird to go back to a manual, but quite nice. And it wasn't actually a proper gear stick either, it was literally just a piece of metal that you moved around. So to actually make sure you were in the right gear was really important as well. I seem to really like this curb on the right hand side out of this corner. When I was looking at a couple of videos with some fast lap times, I saw that they used it quite a bit. The guy actually said don't use it. He said it's quite slippy to brake on, but to be honest, when I tried not to use it, I felt a lot slower, so I just kept on using it and it seemed to work quite nicely. I don't know why they have, well, I do know why they have all these cones. It's to stop people binning it into walls, but I feel like it would have been a lot more fun if they didn't have the cones. They do have different colour cones to show where you should be clipping and where the apexes are and where you should be exiting as well, which is quite useful, especially if you're like me, who's someone who's new to racing in general. It is quite good to get an idea of where the ideal lines are and where you should be placing the car in order to get the optimal exits out of the corners. So that was really useful to have. So this is one of the laps as well that kind of woke me up a little bit and made me feel like I need to make sure that I don't lose grip of this car. When you're behind someone, obviously I didn't want to brake as late, and I'm glad I didn't behind this person, whoever they were, because they seem to be all over the place, and you'll see in a second they nearly had a big moment coming into this sequence of corners just here, I believe it is. There, literally lost the back end completely. I had to slam the brakes on because I was going to go straight into them if I didn't. I don't know what happened there. It was very strange. It was just mid-corner, they lost complete rear traction and the back end just fully stepped out on them. Whether they'd just hammer the throttle and that spat the back end out, I'm not sure. But that was probably one of and the only scary moment that I had driving here, because I generally thought, oh no, are they going to spin? Are they going to be okay? Am I going to end up going into the back of them? But I think once you get over that fear of crashing, it makes it a lot easier to drive these cars. And I think if it was my own, I wouldn't be bothered. Well, I would be bothered obviously, but I wouldn't be as careful. I think when it's not yours, and you don't want the embarrassment of binning it into the grass. Like I saw literally right there on that corner, you can see where someone braked there. That was the session before us. Someone just went straight off there, forgot to brake, tried to brake late, and it just spat them off the track right into the centre of the grass, and they were stuck there, and it messed up everyone else's session as well. And obviously this is, it's a paid experience, it's not cheap, and I'd hate to ruin it for everyone just because I wanted to try and knock off a second or so off a lap time. As you can see though, I did start to send it quite a bit into this first corner, and I was getting really confident into that first corner, and then once again traffic is awaiting for you around the next bend. But overall, what a fun experience. It's absolutely incredible. I think my best lap time I got was a 1:05 105, I believe, or 105, something along those lines. I will put a screenshot up now of my lap times, and you can kind of see the difference in when I had a little bit of free air compared to when I didn't. The annoying thing is my free air came at the start of the session when I was just kind of getting used to braking later, etc. So yeah, that's a shame, but it was so much fun.
So sick. Honestly, the best thing I've ever done in my life. Oh, it's so fun. Oh my god. I'm knackered now though. Don't film because if I'd probably last. Turn it off. Gosh, it has been a bit of an experience. Before I explain why we're here, I'm going to give you a bit of a brief overview of the actual single-seater racing. Oh my gosh, one of the best things I've ever done in my life. I would recommend it to absolutely anyone. I think I came third out of the like 15 drivers that were doing it. Really hard to get an actual clean lap time in. Saying that, it was really good fun. I think I got like a 105, which like a really good lap time is like a 1-2. And now we are at Escapade, which is, as you can see, based on the Maggott and Beckett corners. We weren't meant to be in this room. So when we arrived, we went into the room that we were meant to be in, which is like back there. And it turns out that they hadn't done the room up, so the bed was basically slept in. There was napkins everywhere and stuff. So we went back to reception, and they were really good about it. They said, here's some drink tokens, go and sit up on the bar and we'll sort it out for you. Came back up and said, not only are we going to go upgrade you to a trackside view, we're also going to give you a 2-bedroom apartment. So this is what we are in right now. I mean, look at this, check this out. This is absolutely insane. So this is what these things look like. Oh my gosh, they look so cool. Unfortunately, there's a massive event going on. So earlier in the video, when we were at the main like grandstand area, they were having the breakdown company, I forgot the name of it, the Orange Breakdown Company. They were having their event, and I think now basically all the tracks shut for them. Usually you can go on a track walk and actually walk the track, but I don't think you can do that anymore today anyway, so that's shut off, which is a shame. However, you know what, you can't complain. The sun's shining. We've managed to watch a little bit of the Mini Cup, I believe it was, that was on the back end of today, and we've been upgraded as well. It's absolutely beautiful today in Silverstone, and even there's a hot air balloon up there as well. I think this room was like £700-800 a night. If we'd have bought it, we definitely did not buy it. We wouldn't be staying in this one. Too expensive. But let me give you a quick tour since we're here. So obviously we've got the balcony that looks out onto the actual track. Incredible. Then we've got the living room and kitchen. Got Emily. We've just had some snacks, coffee machine, etc. Got the hallway. So then you've got, so we'll show you this room first. They're pretty much the same, but we've got room number 1. Really nice. Really nice. And then we've also got a second room through here as well. So this is the one that we're gonna be staying in tonight. It is really cool. Really nice. But yeah, so we were meant to only have the garden suites, which didn't have the view onto the track, and I think we paid like just under £200 for that. Includes bed and breakfast. They've got a pool, gym, sauna, which was also meant to be shut, but it's actually open now, so that's also really good. However, we've not brought any of our stuff because we thought it was meant to be closed. But yeah, I think I'll leave the vlog there today. If there's anything else that happens that's cool, I'll put it in, but I don't think there's going to be much going on. So yeah, thank you for watching, and make sure to subscribe. Awesome experience, would recommend it to anyone. See you later.